church offers no absolutes. She tells me worship in my bedroom. The only heaven I'll be sent to is when I'm alone with you. What are you laughing about?
I was talking with my friend about Irish folklore and history and stuff.
Hello, welcome to Darian and Steven's Wiz YouTube live chat. There is currently, I'm sorry, I left you out. Darian and Steven.
That's me.
That's right. Hey,
one
one
person.
person.
Hello.
We're happy to see you.
What's up?
Okay, let me see where I'm at. Really low. Okay.
I gotta roll up my sleeves.
All right, we're good to go. Hello.
Heyo.
Who's with us? Can you tell us in the chat?
Tell us your name.
Who are you?
Who could you be?
At the very beginning, are you Keiko? I know that you listen, Keiko. I'm speaking to you live. She always talks to me about the lives.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Maybe it could be.
we have one fan. Thank you, Keiko. If you
fan.
are new, Keiko. Hello, two fans. Welcome. Tonight is Steve and Darian's Wiz live chat on Wednesday nights. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
All right, it's 8:01. Do you know what that means?
Time for beer? No, I don't have any beer.
You
No.
should bring beer.
That would be very fun.
Yeah, drink beer
And encourage people to drink while they watch the show.
He's so Irish. Okay,
That's my answer to everything.
theme song time. I love Wiz, you love Wiz, we love Wiz channel. I love Wiz, you love Wiz, we love Wiz channel.
I was doing the Friends
Yeah.
theme song.
Nobody told me life was gonna be this way.
Yeah. Better stop. It's like what? Like I know, no one who's gonna sue us over this is gonna be watching.
Yeah.
But I heard in YouTube and stuff like that, you're allowed 15 seconds or something.
I thought it
or
was
5
30
seconds.
seconds.
It's a really small amount, and
small amount of legal music.
And after that, then you're liable for copyright.
Okay, so we didn't do a very long Friends rendition.
It was pretty much 5 seconds, so
Yes.
I'm pretty sure we're safe.
No worries. No copyright police coming after us. How are you tonight? You have our full attention. Please say hello in the chat.
Yes.
We would love to hear from you, beautiful people. And we know you're beautiful. We can feel it.
Feel the good vibes,
Yeah.
good energy.
So how was your weekend?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I went to, what did I do? I was supposed to go hiking and stuff, and then, it's kind of funny. We were supposed to go hiking. We had this whole big hiking trip planned with my girlfriend and her dad, and we were planning on hiking across these 3 mountains.
Which 3 mountains?
In Nagano, Sanzan is the name. It literally means 3 mountains.
3 mountains, Sanzan.
It's called the Sanzan hiking trail. It's in.
Have you been there?
I think it's near. It's in Nagano. You can see it from Hakuba, but I don't know if it's part of Hakuba or not.
So you were supposed to go.
Yeah, we were supposed to go, and actually I bought some expensive rainwear and everything because my girlfriend's dad was very serious about preparing. He always is. And he was like, you need rainwear, Steve.
Such a dad.
If you don't get rainwear, we can't go because the wind is very strong and the rain is really, and I was like, okay, fine. And it was really expensive though. It was it cost me at least Ichiman for this rainwear.
For a rain jacket?
Yeah, it's I had to get a windproof, waterproof one, and then I also had to get these coveralls for over my trousers for my legs. And then the day before we were going, he was like, oh, it's gonna be raining, weather's gonna be really bad, so we're gonna cancel. And I was like, why did I buy rainwear then? If we're gonna cancel because of the rain, what the heck is the point in the rainwear?
Yeah, maybe he was counting on a lighter rain.
That's what I was thinking, but I was like, come on,
Hello, third person. Thank you for
Hello.
coming. Say hello in the chat. It
Tell
makes
us your
us
name.
really, really happy.
It made me happy.
Yeah,
Happiness comes from my heart.
dads are always like over prepared.
That's true.
Every time I call my dad, he's like, "Are you ready for the next big earthquake? Like, do you have an emergency earthquake supplies? Do you keep tennis shoes next to your bed?" Like, he's very adamant about the earthquake
Why
preparedness.
tennis shoes? What?
Tennis shoes.
Yeah, why tennis shoes beside your bed? What was that gonna do?
Like sneakers?
Oh, right, like runners?
Like, yeah, so you can jump and go.
Oh, okay. I guess, like, if your genkan's, like...
It's too far.
I mean, you're gonna be going... I mean, I guess
You're gonna
you
leave
might
out
have to go
out the window or something, yeah.
I mean, no, but there are, like, emergency exits on the balcony, right?
Yeah. Are you prepared for an earthquake? Tell us in the chat.
Yeah. Tell us. Uh-oh.
Go away.
There's, like, a prompt.
Go away.
Yeah. Delay that for a
1時間後で. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Steven, what is our topic today?
Our topic today is Japan, sort of.
Japan? What?
It's like misunderstandings or like
Culture shock.
or like faux pas or.
So apparently, Steven has made a great many hilarious faux pas. What's a faux pas?
A faux pas.
This is French, I think.
It's French, yeah. You can tell because it's got all the extra weird letters.
Extra weird letters. I don't even know how to spell it. Faux. P-A-S?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I remember some French.
Yeah, faux pas. So faux pas.
But we use this in English, actually.
Yeah, we use it in English, but it's technically it comes from French. But I mean, like, lots of English words come from French. So.
Yeah.
I mean, some Japanese words come from French, like pan.
Pan. Or is that Portuguese?
That's French.
No, it's Portuguese too, because that's where they got the word pan.
Oh, they got it from Portugal?
Yeah, because they were like some of the first missionaries to come over here.
That makes sense.
And they popularized bread.
Oh.
So, actually.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a French word too, though.
Yeah. So
but
it's
yeah,
good.
I didn't realize though that I always thought it came from French over here. Okay. Anyways,
They have so many French bakeries here.
yeah. So a faux pas means when you do the wrong thing in that culture.
Or just like making a mistake, a faux pas.
Yeah, you make like a mistake, like a social mistake or a cultural mistake.
Social or cultural mistake, I think, is a great way to define faux pas.
Yeah. Right?
And we use it pretty often, I think. Like, it's not a rare word.
Yeah, it's not rare at all. It's like there's a reason we took it from French is because we don't have a word for it in English and we use it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so...
Yeah, the most words total in English come from French.
Oh, really? I thought it would have been like Germanic.
The most daily words come from German.
That makes a lot of sense.
So the most like everyday, daily use words come from German, but the most words in the English language total come from French.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah. I mean, like, if you read any European languages, even if you've never studied them before, and like if you're a native English speaker, it's like I'll look at like a French sentence and I'm like, I know what 5 of those words mean.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure from the context what this means, like I understand.
You can catch a lot from, words that are similar to English. And that's what makes Japanese super hard.
Yeah, Japanese is like,
because I can't read.
Hard. Yeah, it's just because like everything is just different.
Yeah. And I hear that, Korean is a lot easier for Japanese people to learn.
Oh yeah, they're like connected, Like if you look at like Chinese, whether that's Mandarin or Cantonese or Korean or Japanese, there's all like the root. There's like a connection. Just like with Cyrillic alphabets. So if you're like from Poland or like Czechoslovakia, or Czech Republic or Slovakia, or if you're from like Russia, then like they can all kind of understand each other a bit too. Same with like Southeast or Middle Eastern language, like Urdu and Farsi are like pretty similar in a lot of ways.
A friend of mine is studying Hebrew right now, and she also studied Arabic before, and she was surprised at how many similarities she found.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I guess it makes sense, like geography-wise. But yeah, like Hebrew is like one of the, I think it's like the oldest unchanged language.
Yeah.
Right, because it's like maintained by like the Torah, the scripture. It's like in Israel, the
Yeah, it's
Hebrew.
one of the original languages of the Bible. Like Hebrew and then in Greek.
Yeah, and so it's like totally unchanged. It's not the oldest language, because that would be like the oldest written language we still know about is Sanskrit. But or maybe Sumerian.
I don't know.
I think Sanskrit.
I don't know the answer. What is the oldest written language?
I think Sanskrit is the oldest like surviving language, because that's what the Tripitaka, like the Buddhist and Hindu texts, are written in. They're written in Sanskrit.
Have you ever seen like 9th century English written down?
Oh, it's super hard to read.
It's so strange. It's so different from our current language.
It's very weird looking.
So different, yeah. So yeah, we're talking about
Japan.
Faux pas in Japan.
Faux pas in Japan.
So
funny mistakes, I guess.
Funny mistakes, you could call it. Okay, so we'll start with Steven. What's something you've done that's silly?
When I first came to Japan, and I was learning Japanese for the very first time, I never learned it before. And every time I met someone, instead of saying hajimemashite, nice to meet you, hajimemashite, yoroshiku, I would say hajimemashita, hajimemashita, like it has begun. And so instead of saying te, I was saying ta. Lots of people thought they would always laugh, but I didn't know why. I was like, why is everybody laughing?
Nobody corrected you?
Nobody corrected me. I actually realized by myself.
Oh no.
Yeah, because no one told me. And then I was like, I've been saying this like this for like a year.
So your girlfriend is Japanese.
Yeah.
Does she ever like mess with you?
Oh yeah, all the time.
By mess with you, I mean like kind of play a joke on Steven, like make him think something that's not right about Japanese in order to embarrass him or laugh at him.
Yeah.
Do you have a story like that?
Oh yeah, I have like a bunch. It happens all the time. When I make a mistake, my girlfriend will laugh at me and then say like, no, that's right, that's okay.
Go ahead.
Like, I don't know, last week, 2 weeks ago or something, I was talking to my girlfriend and her coworker, and hello. And so my girlfriend's coworker doesn't really speak English, so we were all speaking Japanese, and I kept saying, instead of saying kaminoke, as in hair, I kept saying kamikoke, which is not a word at all. And so my girlfriend knew what I was trying to say, and then her coworker just kept looking at me like, what are you saying? Like, what? It makes no sense. Like, and then hello, and then I realized that's wrong. What I'm saying is wrong. So I asked her, I was like, what? Like, what's wrong? And she's like, oh, no, kamikoke. Kamikoke is fine. I was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. I know it's not. And then her coworker started saying the same thing. I was like, and then it took like about 10 minutes later, they're like, no, it's kamikoke. And I was like, okay.
You were like, oh.
Yeah. Or at a different time, instead of saying mabushi, as in bright, I don't know why, but it's stuck in my head. At this one time, I just mixed them up. Instead of saying mabushi, I kept saying hitsumabushi, which is like eel. It's like an eel dish. And I kept saying hitsumabushi. I was like, oh, kyo meta hitsumabushi. And then and my girlfriend's mom started laughing at me. And I was like, what's so funny? Like, it's bright today. The sun is very bright today. Like, very bright outside. And then, like, neither of them corrected me. And, like, I was, like, waiting and asking for ages. And then I found out it's mabushi is bright.
It's very hitsumabushi outside today.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. So that
The
was.
eel is high in the sky.
So that was one of them
So
for me.
we are embarrassing ourselves, telling you about times we made mistakes in Japanese. So it's only fair that you tell us about your funny English mistakes in the chat.
Yeah.
So don't leave us all alone here in this embarrassing storyland. We need your funny stories too. So tell me about some common mistakes that you've made. Yeah, I think Japanese people find it very cute when we make mistakes.
I think so. I think like most people are still like pretty supportive when you're trying to speak Japanese.
Definitely. But sometimes I'll do like a Facebook post or a line post for Wiz or something like that, and I'll make a mistake in the Japanese, but they won't tell me, and everyone will be like, "Oh, kawaii," but I'm embarrassed.
Yeah. My girlfriend always says that, like it's cute when I make mistakes. So I'm
But
like,
then I won't learn.
yeah, she usually corrects me after a while, so it's okay. But what's a mistake that you made that was like a funny social, like a funny faux pas or a funny misunderstanding or something that you had?
So Stephen and I both used to work at ECC.
Yes.
And ECC, I don't know if you ever experienced this, but when I was working at ECC, we had a yukata day.
Oh, okay.
Did you do yukata day?
No.
Well, I worked at the Inuyama school, which is now closed. So sad.
Oh, really? That's closed?
Yeah, it's closed.
Huh.
And at Inuyama school, we had Yukata Fridays, like once a month during the summer.
Oh, okay.
And it was my first time wearing a yukata.
Right.
And I was so excited. I had no idea how to put them on properly, so my fellow staff member put the yukata on for me. But she was
backwards, was it?
Yeah, she
Size
was
backwards.
very, very busy, and she had lots of other things to do, so she put it on real quick, and then she gave me some ECC tissues, and she said, "Go hand out tissues." So I'm handing out tissues. I'm like, "ECC, come to ECC, yeah!" And then Oba-san came up to me, and she was just like, "You're dead! You're dead!" And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "It's wrong, it's wrong." And she like grabbed me by the chest and was like, "See, it's wrong." And so yeah, I couldn't. It was
that was so
confusing. And I didn't know any Japanese.
You just thought she was like a crazy old woman.
Yeah, I just thought she was crazy. And then I go inside and I'm like, "Is my yukata on wrong?" And they were like, "Oh my gosh, yes." And then I changed it. But yeah,
right.
it was kind of embarrassing, but also really funny.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
That's common foreigner mistake, I think.
Yeah.
The wrong yukata.
I mean what was it, the Canadian rugby team? When they were here for the World Cup, I think. Oh yeah, they all wore like yukata, and like they all like when they first arrived in Japan, and they got off the bus in like, I don't know, wherever they were playing in like Toyota or something like that. Actually, I don't think Canada was playing in Toyota. They were playing somewhere else, like somewhere kind of countryside-ish. And so the Canadian rugby team, they all got off the bus and they're all wearing yukata and geita and everything, you know? But all of them had their yukata on the
wrong
backwards.
way. Yeah.
So they all had it on like a funeral. So they all looked like they were dead. Yeah.
Oh, poor foreigners. We're trying.
Yeah.
Trying so hard.
I feel like it's like we don't really have that kind of stuff in the West.
Yeah.
It's like it's not like you're gonna put your shoes on backwards or something, like that would just be painful.
Like, what's a traditional? I mean, in America we don't have like traditional dress unless you have like another culture that you came from.
Right.
What about Ireland?
I guess like Irish traditional dress is more like just like low class kind of farmer stuff, you know. That's like because we're originally like a farming country because we were always kind of oppressed and stuff, so we don't really have like the high culture of like kimono or yukata like some countries might have. Like it's more kind of a yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess not really. You know, there's like superstitions, but not which I guess are kind of faux pas. Like don't open an umbrella inside. Don't put your shoes on the table. Even if
Don't
they're
put
new
your shoes on the table?
Yeah, even if they're new, even if they're brand new, you don't put the shoes on the table. Yeah.
Is that like bad luck?
Super bad luck. Yeah.
So it's bad luck to put your shoes on the table in Ireland.
Yeah, even if they're like brand new shoes, even if you bought them that day.
You're like, look at my new shoes. They're beautiful.
Even if they're in like a box, you don't put shoes on the table.
Under the table.
Yeah.
So why is it bad luck?
I have no idea. I guess like pretty much most superstition comes from like, you know, kind of common sense. Like maybe a long time ago, if you put shoes on the table, that's where you eat. You know, you're gonna get a disease.
Get dirty germs on the table.
Yeah, and you're coming from a farming community, so it's like the bottom of your shoes are gonna be really dirty.
Yeah.
And you don't have like antiseptic or antibacterial stuff. So. Yeah. How about, did you ever make any faux pas when you were eating over here with food or anything like that?
Yeah, I remember I was eating with my Japanese teachers. I have a bunch of Japanese teachers in a volunteer group. I call them my old lady squad. And I put my chopsticks like straight in the food.
Oh no, I knew about that one before.
I didn't know. I was very early in my time here.
Right.
And you know, my first year in Japan, so I don't do it now, but yeah, I just kind of set them down in the rice, and everybody was like, "Stop! No!" And I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What's wrong?" And they were like, "It's bad." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
I was really confused. What about you?
Yeah. So like the first time that I think this is literally the first night in Japan that I was here.
First night in Japan.
And I arrived in Japan pretty late because I flew in through Osaka, and then I took a bus from Osaka to Nagoya, and then I took like the train from Nagoya to Kaneyama to stay at my hostel. But then it was like, you know, by the time I got to my hostel, it was like close to midnight. And so I kind of like washed up and everything and like got into bed, and I tried to sleep for a little bit, but I had really bad jet lag. So I woke up at like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. So I was like, I'm really tired, and someone in this hostel is like really annoying. They kept like, their alarm kept going off. Even though it was like, they hadn't set this alarm for like 5 a.m. Like every 10 minutes. And they just like kept waking up and then turning it on to snooze. And I was like, I hate this guy. He's in a communal sleeping space and he keeps hitting snooze on his alarm. I was like, what
rude.
What a horrible, rude, inconsiderate person. Anyways.
He's still mad.
Yeah, I was very mad. Anyway, so it's like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. So I leave the hostel and I start walking around trying to find something I can eat. And I think I went into like a Yoshinoya, something like that. I think it was Yoshinoya. And they had like this super early breakfast that you could get, right? And it comes with like tofu and like miso and like some salmon and then I'm looking at this, I order it, and I'm like, oh, this is great, whatever, you know? And I try to start eating it, and like, I'm just looking at this big thing of cold tofu, and I just like started eating it just by itself, and I was like, this is really not tasty. And then the guy, there's like this salaryman, maybe like in his 50s or something, beside me, and he looked over and he was like, no, tastes bad. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he like picked up the shoyu, like the soy sauce, and he like put it onto the tofu for me. He was like, tastes good. And I was like, okay, thank you so much.
Sometimes simple English communication is totally effective.
And then what happened next was way worse in terms of what I did. I'm looking at this plate, right? So I've got the rice there, I've got the tofu, the fish, and then I've got the miso soup. And then there is an egg, which I think, oh, this must be like a boiled egg or something, or a soft boiled egg. So I go to crack it on the side of my thing, and then I'm like, this is a raw egg! And I was like, I don't know what to do with this. And I was like, I've seen people put, a raw egg in like ramen or something like that. So I was like, oh, well, my miso soup is hot. So I put my raw egg into the miso soup. And I was trying to eat it, but it just like sank to the bottom pretty much, and I couldn't really get it out. So I was like, I kind of just drank it the whole thing. Yeah.
Steven, I have the exact same experience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I also. So in ECC, you always like start out at a hostel before your apartment is ready.
Yeah.
So I was also in an apartment. I mean, in a hostel.
Right.
And I was hungry, so I went around the corner. And the menu was all in Japanese, no pictures. But I was like, okay, breakfast. This. And I just pointed at something random on the menu. No idea what it was. I was like, breakfast, it'll be fine. And then, they bring the fish and the miso soup and the tofu. And I was just like, what is this?
Yeah.
What do I do with it? And the raw egg thing, I had no idea what to do with the raw egg.
Yeah.
I was like, do I just eat this?
Just crack it open.
Yeah, in the States, we don't really eat just raw eggs.
I feel like raw stuff in the West is mostly if you get something raw, it's like vegetables.
Yeah.
It's like we don't eat raw meat or raw animal products.
So I remember being like, oh, this is Japanese breakfast. Okay. Cool.
yeah, for sure.
But just having no idea what's on the menu and ordering blindly. It's been fun though, having all of those experiences.
Yeah.
Sometimes really frustrating when you just want to get through the day, go to work and eat dinner and go home. But mostly it's been really exciting.
Yeah. I guess I was kind of used to going places and being confused and looking kind of like an idiot. So I was just like, whatever.
Steven's totally fine with looking like an idiot.
Exactly.
He does it all the time.
Exactly. Be what you are on the inside. Be your true self. Speaking of which, should I do the top one up? Yes? No. Let's have a vote. Give me some fashion advice. This is random. Open button or close button?
Tell us in the chat.
Tell us what you think.
Give Steven fashion advice.
Give me fashion advice. Okay, sorry, let's move on.
So, faux pas.
Anything else?
Chopsticks, yukatas, language.
There was, what was it? Okay. This is something I did. I knew I shouldn't do it, but I did it at a time by accident, right? And it was it took 2 seconds, and I did it by accident because basically, so I don't eat meat, right? I don't eat
vegetarian meat. Steven.
I don't eat meat. And so I have my chopsticks, and I always give my girlfriend the meat from my food. If there's meat in the soup or something, or if I get a lunch, a bento, and there's meat in it, I give it to her. So anyways, I gave her what I thought was meat, but it was actually fish or mushroom or something. So she picked it up and she's like, this isn't meat, you can eat it. And she was holding it with her chopsticks. And so I was like, okay. And I just grabbed it from her chopsticks and ate it because I thought it was really funny. And we both laughed at it. And then her dad laughed too. But then I realized, I was like, bing bong, and this light bulb went above my head, and I was like, oh no, like it's super rude. Do you not know that? Like,
No, I didn't know that.
Super rude to pass food from chopstick to chopstick, or like to take something from chopstick to chopstick. Extremely rude, because that's what they do at funerals. After the body is cremated in Japan, they pass the bones.
Yeah, I knew that.
With the chopsticks.
Oh, but I didn't know about
from chopsticks to chopsticks. So if you do that with food or something like that, you pass something chopsticks to chopsticks at the dinner table. Very, very, very rude.
I had no idea. That's very good information.
I did it by accident because I already knew it was a problem. I did it by accident, and then I said nothing. And my girlfriend's dad, he just laughed. I think he thought Steven doesn't know. So I was like,
Does your girlfriend's dad make you nervous?
No, not really.
He's really easygoing?
He's pretty easygoing. Yeah, he's just like first time I met him, I was pretty nervous. But he actually really likes me now. Yeah, he's really nice and stuff.
That's great.
He likes me a lot. He comes over sometimes, like without even when my girlfriend's not there, he'll come over.
Like, hey, Steven.
Yeah, he just shows up sometimes.
How's he going?
Hey, what's up?
All right. So it is 8:30. That is all we have for today. If you ever want to get friendly in the chat, we are at your service. Please
give me fashion advice.
Give Steven fashion advice. Give our 1920s boy fashion advice. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you stay safe. And thank you so much for coming and listening to us. And we hope that you learned some stuff. So,
yes.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a wonderful evening. See you.
Bye.
Take care. See you next week. Dun, dun, dun. Ending. Goodbye.